Hi, good morning everyone. It's just Damian here. I'm just doing the video to explain a little bit about why I created the YouTube channel and why and why I wanted to help other people. Basically, uh, as you're aware, this is about me and having autism and the cross-dressing journey and everything as well. So I was diagnosed with autism as a child, and when I was diagnosed with autism as a child, I was bullied at school, and people, and with the bullying, people used to do things and that kind of thing to get me into trouble. I'm not going into really what they did, but there's been a couple of times where I was bullied into doing stuff, and then I'm the one in the wrong, or people used to do things like that anyway. Like people used to do things and then blame me, and then used to get in the wrong anyway. So yeah, I was diagnosed with autism as a child and as a teenager. I can't remember if it was late primary school or early secondary. um, I was diagnosed with autism, um, and I have found the journey to find friends and explore my gender and that difficult. I know that some people in my family and that are uncomfortable with the gender exploration side and that kind of thing. I did buy a place in my own 2019, but I was scared of buying clothes and that for the first few years because I didn't want anyone to come and knock on the door and me having a dress on or ladies' clothes or a bra or anything. But yeah, and that slowly started to change. And that last year, I was a little bit scared with the self harming and with the cross dressing and that uh, had caused me to self harm and that kind of thing. And I was branding myself and stereotyping myself as a pedophile and other things and that because of what people have said, or what people have said when I've said, or I've like branded myself as certain things and stereotyped myself as certain things because of what people have said to me in the past when they've not understood the situation or understood my needs for various things. That's not with just the cross dressing, that's with sensory stuff and the way that I communicate and that as well. So I did uh did self harm and that because of the cross dressing and that, and I started cross dressing and that properly last year. I did go out once last year. I can't remember if it was August or September, maybe. I can't remember. And after that, I'd stopped going out again. I did stop going out again, but November and that last year was when I started doing it properly, where I am going out at least once a week. There has been a couple of weeks and that in the past where I have been going out twice a week, but I do try to wear ladies' clothes and that around the house now, even if it's just a loungewear or whatever. So I am a little bit more comfortable in ladies' clothes. I'm a lot more happier when I walk past a shop window, or when I walk past a reflection somewhere. When I'm dressed, I always have a look at myself, look at the girls, and think, yeah, this is me, and I feel a lot more confident with it. When I have pictures taken that in the past, I was uncomfortable about having pictures taken against me in that because when I was more uncomfortable having pictures and that taken on me when I was in male clothes and that, but female clothes I really don't mind taking pictures in ladies' clothes. I take them all the time, like the odd selfie here, the odd selfie there, and I really enjoy it. But But when I see pictures where I'm wearing ladies' clothes or looking at myself in the mirror and that kind of thing, I do see much more. I do see that there's much more a glow about my aura and about my personality. There's something there that I can't put my finger on, but I know it's there. So I don't know if I want to go full time or take hormones or anything. I don't have dysphoria with my genitalia as such. I still get enjoyment out of that. I I am also attracted to cis women, transgender women, and a lot of people have said to me that I'm gay because I want to cross dress or wear ladies' clothes, and attracted to transgender women because transgender women are born men. If you're dating someone that's transgender and they've had the full surgery or the gender recognition certificate and got all their documents changed legally to female, sorry, how are you going to know are if they were born men or whatever if they've not told you in that? And if someone that's pre-op transgender, they can get all the documents changed still, but if you've not seen them when you first meet someone, they've got clothes and that on, so you're not going to know then, are you? So yeah, I am enjoying the dressing, and I am enjoying the journey in that. I do still struggle to make friends and socialize and find support because of my autism and because of the way that things are communicated and misinterpreted. For instance, I was under a mental health team last year. I'm not saying who the mental health team were or what had gone on fully, but I'd seen a member, I'd seen my CPN and member of staff on social media. I rang another department within the trust. I don't even think they were based at the same building, they weren't. So I rang another department within the trust, explained that I had some anxiety of seeing this person on social media and that kind of thing, and they said to let the mental health team know. So I'd let the mental health team know, I'd sent evidence of what I'd found and evidence of me deleting the evidence. After that, they took that previous CPN off me, and they took that previous CPN off me basically and branded me a danger to women. I did post, that did upset me in that because I have noticed, I have noticed on a lot of dating sites and a lot of social media sites that a lot of people that most of the people, I'm not saying it's for definite, it's what I've noticed. Other people might have different experiences, but what I've noticed on dating sites from personal experience, a lot of people that do disclose the profession and where they work and what they do for a job are either normal nurses or mental health nurses. So that's like that did upset me in that as well because I was trying to let the mental health team know about that because of I was trying to let the mental health team know about that because there could be more severe patients than me out there that would like to take advantage. I was trying to let her know so she could block me so I didn't have to go into her account or for her safety in that as well. So I didn't want to know anything about that. There was a couple of times last year where I did go to the mental health facility when I had anxiety of self-harm and I'd went to the mental health facility, phoned them. The lady that answered the phone said she didn't feel safe meeting with me. She was going to, she didn't feel safe meeting with me. She'd hung up on me, so I rang back, and they said that they were going to call the police. They asked if I was still in the car park, and they said they were calling the police. So that made things worse. I did start self-harming that night. If someone had spoke to me properly and that kind of thing, I would have been fine with it. I did go to the doctors earlier that day anyway, and the doctor did say that he'd have to report me to the police. But yeah, it's like a lot of stuff with the mental health side, and with the mental health side because things get misinterpreted with the autism, because things get misinterpreted with how you try to express yourself. People automatically think that it's a police matter, and sometimes I'm even getting arrested for misinterpreted things. This instance was over a year ago, but I did meet up with the mental health team, and that after some issues and that, and I was really upset and that about it. I'd lost someone that I was close to. Another member of staff said to me when I was upset, when I said I felt like overdosing, he said in his own words to me were, "I don't mind if you overdose." So then I thought that overdosing would help, because I had really upsetting thoughts and that about the meeting that had gone wrong. And I'd let one of my temporary advocates know at the time that I felt like this, felt like that. I said I didn't have any intent and anxiety related with it. So I did let the advocate know. Then a couple of days later, I was arrested and told by a solicitor that asking for help around my mental health is actively breaking the law because it upsets people. I always say when I've got anxiety around intrusive thoughts and feelings that I've got no intent, I've got this, I've got that, and I am finding it difficult to get support in that, because people think that for having the thought process there, for having the anxiety there, for talking about it, you're not medically stable, you're not medically fit enough, and you're not medically stable, not medically fit enough. I've been told by one lot of people, in order to implement my distraction techniques properly, and in order to implement my coping strategies properly, I'm better off phoning someone whilst the anxiety is at the very, 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 very beginning, whilst I'm in control of it, to phone up and talk about it. But because of things like that, then people think because you're talking about it, you're not medically stable. For instance, been trying to get my driving license and that back for over a year and that now, and the mental health team have told the DVLA that I was refusing appointments and that, but I wasn't. When the first appointment was made, the appointment was double booked with other appointments for the same time. I had scheduled in there was a big meeting scheduled in for the same time, and that to go over a care treatment review that I had done with a third party to try to get this resolved. But then after the third party, so I'd had the meeting and that done with the third party, and we were supposed to have this meeting on one day. There was going to be senior management there, social worker, and other people and that there. So I'd contacted the social worker, and other people there weren't aware of the changes, so I had to rechange everything. So I got one penalised for that, and the appointment for my driving licence was made with another doctor, but the other doctor wrote to the DVLA before she'd even met me and said that she didn't think that was medically stable to drive or whatever, and she hadn't even known me. She hadn't even known me and met me, which I found contradictory to what the first doctor said, because the first doctor said, in order to do this properly, I have to meet you face to face and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm just getting passed on from one person to another at the moment with everything, with the support and that I'm getting. The social workers were put as the main lead and the main contact for the intrusive thoughts and feelings. However, they are no longer part of my social care and that at the moment. I did send some emails out on the 19th of February around that period and asking for help about my intrusive thoughts and that. I did say who the anxiety was over and why I got the anxiety. That I did also explain that in the past and that I was told in the past by doctors and that I would eventually act on intent eventually. When I had that meeting with the doctor, that was in December last year, he said there's been loads of meetings and that about how their team feel threatened by, how their doctors feel threatened by me, and how the mental health service feel threatened by me. I was told because of I was told that they feel threatened by me, the doctors feel threatened by me, the mental health service feel threatened by me, and eventually I'll act on intent. And he was still under the impression that I was with mental health services and that, which I wasn't, because I kept sending the discharge and that all the time. I got my social worker involved, so then my social worker and that got involved. The doctors weren't happy about that, so then they discharged me for a breakdown in communication. And then on the 19th of February, and then I'd registered with a new doctor's surgery. 2.5 weeks later, I got discharged for violent and threatening behaviour. But the issue is, I don't know why I've been bad for violent and threatening behaviour. It's like people are having to put down on my medical record and on my medical record and paperwork and that I get violent and threatening, just for talking about how my anxiety is affecting me and how I feel towards it. I have had ambulances and that over in the past for severe anxiety attacks relating to dreams, and they have run the crisis team and the doctors. They have then been told that they need to ring the police because the thought process is there with the dream. So the 19th of February, I'd sent some emails looking for support and that kind of thing. The police officers came, asked if I'd had any intent, and I'd explained there was no intent, it was anxiety. So she said, we weren't going to take this further. We know the situation, we know why you get the situation, why you get this, why you get that. Then on the following week, 26th of February, I'd sent a letter to my advocate with the application that I put in, and she said that she said she'd have to report it to the police. She'd reported it to the police, but she didn't realise the police had already been out for a welfare call. Police had came out 27th of February, and they the police have been out 27th of February, and they had been out on the 27th of February, checked the laptop, checked my emails, checked with the sergeant that they weren't going to take it further than another situation and why. Following Monday, police had came for a welfare. I thought they were coming for a welfare call, but they came and arrested me because what was happening is that when I'm asking for help and that, it's getting referred back to back through the mental health services and that through to the person that I've got the anxiety and that about, and the person that I've got the anxiety about saying he's in severe fear of his life, then I'm getting arrested and then told that I'm actively breaking the law again. The other week, I had severe anxiety attacks and that again. Paramedics rang the crisis team. They told the paramedics that they don't deal with intrusive thoughts and feelings around anxiety related to intrusive thoughts and feelings, and they had to ring the police. And the Sunday after I ran the crisis team, and then they just said, for what I disclosed, I'd need to ring the police. So I do get, as I say, intrusive thoughts and feelings, but this mainly becomes apparent or starts happening when I'm severely stressed or upset towards a situation or a person that's upset me. It mainly happens when I feel like the control's gone away or I don't feel listened to. This is, for example, I can ring one organisation, then they're telling me to ring another organisation, then they're telling me that I shouldn't be ringing them. I know that I need to ring this, I know that I need to ring that, but yeah, as you can see, it's a vicious circle, and I struggle to keep up. I struggle to keep up in my head what's going on, and just talking about it there's made me dizzy. So yeah, I am looking for help and support with the mental health side, with the intrusive thoughts and feelings, to try to get a handle or an understanding of what's going on. I have looked into going private, but a lot of the private people think that my needs are too complex, too high risk. One woman said that did an assessment, said from her professional opinion, she thinks I need to be on a multidisciplinary team or something, where they can bring more than one organisation in, and she thought the best thing to help me would be a admission to a mental health hospital. I don't think an admission to a mental health hospital would be any useful for me, because it made it worse, and I'm not going to go into why it made it worse because I don't want to upset or offend anyone or upset myself. So yeah, I'm looking into other areas and that. The doctors don't know what they want to do with me, and a lot of the talking therapies and that I'm contacting that saying that I need to be open to secondary services and that, but secondary services are saying that they won't take me back and that kind of thing. I have had people that have done a familiar faces plan asking if I could be under a new mental health team to see if I could have a fresh start with things and that, but yeah, it's a bit of a difficult process and that kind of thing. I do find the cross-dressing, and I do find putting the dress on, putting the bra on, putting the makeup on, putting the jewellery on does help. And as I say, when I'm cross-dressed or wearing ladies' clothes, I'm a lot more happier and easier to control things. I've only had one bad experience where really the anxiety, where really I've got really upset being dressed, but other than that, I do find the cross dressing and that helpful, and and I do find the cross dressing and sensory needs and that helpful as well. I do also find it difficult the amount of times that I'm having to get plans and that redrawn and plans and that redrawn because you get told by one lot of people you need to follow this plan, then one lot of people say you need to follow this plan, then you get the plan changed. Well, the plan needs changing again, and not many people, and then you explain to people that you've got the plan, it's not their responsibility to follow it. So even that's making me dizzy, and that, and again talking about that. But yeah, it's like I do want to get things back on track. I did start going to a couple of groups and that last year and this year, the beginning of this year, but I've been banned from there from misinterpretations again around my communication. However, I'm trying to get that looked into. I'll explain about that in a minute. But what happened was I've been at a social group. There was people there talking about their 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 experiences with the NHS and with the mental health service. So I was saying about how there's been times I've been at A&E and the security and that have targeted me when they shouldn't have, saying that I was taking pictures on my phone and I hadn't. So I'd explained about how I got upset and walked out because they were demanding to go through my phone even though that I'd showed them everything on my phone. Third, I'd even said about how there's been times where I'd emailed the mental health service and explained that I wanted help and support, where I'd put previous advisors' names on it for reflection purposes and for reference purposes so that the management had a better understanding of what was going on and why he enjoyed working with what person, what went wrong, what didn't. And because I put my previous CPN's name on it because I wasn't allowed to work with her anymore, even though the email and that was not for her and I had no intent for her to see it, it was passed on to the police and the police came around for harassment charges. So I'd explained all that and how things have been misinterpreted. I also explained how I wanted to get my life back on track and how I wanted to move forward in that. But because someone had got a bit upset by what I'd said, rather than them talking to me, rather than the group talking to me about what had gone on and why, I just had an email through to say that someone had put a formal complaint in and they had put a formal complaint and that in and they'd put a formal complaint and that in and they had to put safeguarding procedures and policies in place, which meant that I had to get banned from the group. However, there had been people in that there that were talking about their experiences with the mental health service and with their negative experiences around transitioning and around other areas in that. I did say that how I wanted to improve my life and get back on track. I was saying about the dressing room and everything and that, but like as I say, getting told to talk about your problems and that, and just generally makes things worse for me in that. I know that there's been a big thing on the news and that about people opening up and that about the mental health and that, but a lot of people from my family and that don't agree with talking about mental health and that kind of thing, and they're getting sick of listening about it too in the news and that as well, and me talking about it all the time. But as I say, I am trying to get things back on track. As I say, I am trying to get things back on track with some other groups and that around the uh, misinterpretations with my communication. I did start working with a communication therapist last year that was private. She had autism and that as well, so she brought in a communication therapist report, which is helping, but I need to do some boundary work and disclosure work about my communication style and that kind of thing. So I am going to be working with her and if and uh, trying to get on top of this. Um, I do want to get things back on track with her, and she's autistic, and we get on really well. So it's good to have someone like her because she's autistic and she has the professional views and the professional experiences as well as the personal experiences. So I find that that's going to help as well. I am getting the dressing room and that done. Basically, it's still in the process of getting built and that. I came up with the idea last year. Um, I did come up with the idea in that last year whilst I was on holiday to Bulgaria. I can't remember if it was September or October, but I did come up with the idea last year, and it's a slow progress in that. My mum has been over a couple of times this week to do some varnishing and that, but she was going to come over again today, but that's been changed in that again. But hopefully we can get cracked on. It's starting to take shape in that, but that will help as well because I'll do a lot of the filming in there and possibly buy some new equipment in that as well. Um, I I have been in the past a victim of hate crime, bullying, and misinterpretations, and that, as I say, last night I'd spent uh, quite a bit of time in that yesterday, going through my social media and deleting my old Facebook account, recreating new ones. However, I had to re put back in. I had to re put back into Facebook and that as well on the new account the people that I'd blocked originally, but I don't know how secure my account's going to be because quite a few people in that I couldn't find anymore. So whether they've got the accounts in that private or whatever, but if they do start giving me bullying or abuse and that again, I will block it and that kind of thing. So yeah, the social media in that as well, I had to change it on my YouTube because the way that my Facebook and that works is that I've got a page that links all my social media together so that people can see what I am doing and why. Uh, and a lot of the reasons why I've created this channel and negative, because of the journey that I'm going through, whether it's positive or negative, I would like to share it with other people so that people that are going through the same or similar to me uh, don't don't have to be isolated or alone, and they know that they've got someone to look up to and a role model to follow. So yeah, I'm trying to start this channel and trying to develop this channel in order to help other people, and whether it's to get a better understanding of what they're going through or to get a better understanding in how they deal with people with mental health situations or how they deal with someone that's cross-dressed or transgender or whatever journey they're on. I am in the process, and that, as I say, of starting new opportunities and that. And the plan for the future is to hopefully start dating. I would like to date. I've generally never dated in that before. Uh, and that's because a lot of people in that are unsure about me because of the autism and the way that I communicate. Um, I have been blocked and had abuse on dating sites and that before. There's been times where I've posted online before and said that said that I and there's been people out there that have sent nice messages and that, but then someone leaves a bit of abuse and then start getting nasty to me and that. The truth comes out eventually. We know who you are, we know what you are, and like things get misinterpreted and that there. And as I say, I am trying to get into a new bit of structure, a new bit of day, and hopefully with the main lead, hopefully if I get a main point of contact again for the main lead, then I can have someone to talk to about when I'm feeling severely stressed or severely anxious. And the biggest issue at the moment, and that I feel that I need, is a bit more structure and routine, whether that's getting out and socialising again or doing some training and voluntary work. I am in the process of looking for voluntary work or further training and to try to get my license back so that I can get a bit more independence in that again. I have uh, been in touch with the job centre in that since. I have been in touch with the job centre in that since uh, May or since November 2022, but I'm either not getting any response back or I am getting transferred to the wrong department and that. Someone once when I phoned up said if I miss a job centre appointment then I'm gonna likely get sanctioned, and I'm like, the scheme that I'm on, it's all voluntary, and I don't the scheme I'm on, it's voluntary and I don't have to engage with them at all. So I don't know where I got sanctioned from because there's no way I can get sanctioned on it. But yeah, it's like I'm hoping to go away again in a few months, possibly a few weeks, few months, where I can go wear ladies' clothes and cross dressing on holiday. I am really looking forward to that because it's another part of my journey and another part of the journey in that I want to follow, and it's another step forward that I want to take. I've contacted Peacocks in Darlington, they've put some clothes and that together for me out the back. But as I say, I am trying to get things moving forward in that, and I do have goals and aspirations that I want to achieve, and I would like to achieve, and I would like to follow. I am 34 and I just feel a bit left out really because most people that I know have got kids or settling down in relationships. I don't want kids, but I do want to settle down and have someone over to watch film with or whatever, and someone to share my life with. But I also want that person to be understanding of the autism side and the gender side. As I say, I am attracted to transgender women and cis women. However, my gravitation does go more to transgender women because I see more similarities between me and transgender women, and I find I get more responses back from transgender women on dating sites and that as well. So yeah, if you haven't seen my new Facebook or anything, please have a look in the description and that below. And yeah, I do feel a bit isolated in that at times, and I do feel a little bit pressured sometimes to put too much pressure on myself to try to get things sorted and that, which ends up me ending up self-sabotaging accidentally or whatever. But yeah, I'm just trying to get this journey. I'm just trying to enjoy the journey that I can, and hopefully things would start moving forward in that a bit as well. I am looking into organisations and that I say for extra support or whatever. But as soon as I disclose the fact that I'll get this with mental health, I'll get this happening, or just close what's happening, it's often reported back to the police and it's often passed on to other organisations. But yeah, I hope this gives a better understanding of why I changed the channel, or why I created the channel, and why I am still doing what I do and why I enjoy it. But yeah, there's like the good times, there's the bad times, but I really couldn't be any more prouder than I am already now because of the fact that I'm going out with the girls out. I've got the makeup on, I've got the jewellery and that on. Not now though, but when I do. But yeah, it's I've got not got that many clothes and that as well. But yeah, hopefully within a few weeks I might have bought some more clothes from my holiday shop. So yeah, it's about how I go out, how I enjoy myself, and how I feel like this, how I feel like that, and hopefully I can inspire and help other people in that as well. And with the dating journey in that I have applied for Naked Attraction, and I do have scars on my body from self harm and being opened up from self harm where they thought I damaged things and I hadn't. And I'm more proud of that in a way because the scars can help me to understand that I'm much more better person than that now, and I'm a much more stronger person than that now. So I am looking into getting things in that back with the mental health, trying to work with the correct people, the correct teams. There's a couple of setbacks in that where some people are on holiday and some people are on holiday. It would have been easy going away on the 30th of May like I wanted to because a lot of people are going on holiday, but I couldn't really put that in because of other things and that are going on legally. So hopefully I'll have a little bit more positivity in that moving forward. And yeah, this is the story about why I created the channel. This is the story about why I want to date and that kind of thing. And it would be nice to start dating where I can go out with that person shopping or cross dressed or whatever. And it would be nice to have someone looking forward to being my friend and that kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to be an uphill struggle. I'm going to have my highs, I'm going to have my lows, but yeah, it's really enjoyable at times. And that when I look back and when I do go out dressed and that, I'm like, yeah, this is me and everything. Thank you. Bye.